You know, the Kia Soul really doesn't have any competitors anymore in its very unique sort of design space, that compact crossover with a boxy look to it. I mean, it did when it first launched back in 2010, because at the time you had the Scion XB and the Nissan Cube also making rounds, trying to fight for whatever piece of that boxy compact CUV pie there was. Now today, of course, both the XB and the Cube are gone, and really you only have the Soul that's left. So as Kia was about to design its third generation Kia Soul for 2020, it had a bit of a challenge on its hands. You see, if there's one thing that I've learned about the Kia Soul, is that its fans are pretty dedicated. They sell a lot of these things, and there's a pretty hardcore base out there of support. I've even run across members of Kia Soul fan clubs. I remember driving into a Tim Hortons one time and seeing 15 Souls all lined up, and had a great chat with the people who are really dedicated about their Soul. So the challenge, of course, in designing a new one is to make sure that you preserve what it is that the fans like about the Soul, while at the same time expanding a bit to reach out to new members or to new potential buyers who might not have considered it in the past. That's the big challenge ahead. It's what we're going to see inside this 2020 Kia Soul, and it's the feature of my latest review. Even in this new third generation iteration, there is no mistaking from the exterior design that this is indeed a Kia Soul. The general proportions of this easily recognizable silhouette have remained intact, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any external changes. Proportionally, the new Soul adds 2.2 inches to its overall length and 1.2 inches to its wheelbase. Overall height and width remain unchanged. Up front, a new front sport bumper and grille design offer visible cues of the new design. The new Soul loses the small tiger nose grille above the bumper, and the new fog light array is redesigned as well. New thin LED daytime running lights and headlights offer a more modern and distinctive look, and a new front bumper also houses forward collision avoidance cameras and sensors when equipped. On the back end, the biggest change comes from the taillights appearing to wrap around three sides, and a new rear sport bumper giving a different look than before. A new Soul badging on the C-pillar offers another new touch to the overall exterior design. On my EX Limited tester, the 18-inch alloy wheels added a nice touch, but lower trims will ride on either 16 or 17-inch wheels instead. 7 different exterior colors are available with the new Soul, but I quite like the Neptune blue my tester was decked out in. The interior is where some noteworthy changes have been made in the new 2020 Soul. On lower trim models, the interior does offer some fresh new looks, but it's when you hit the EX Premium trim and above that the new look really gets noticeable. A new 10.25-inch multimedia interface with navigation screen offers a host of new available options to the 2020 Soul. The one that most people will be talking about is their new mood lighting system, which again starts at the EX Premium trim line and above. Basically, the system offers ambient lighting that can either be constant or can pulse with a variety of selectable moods. Now, it's slightly gimmicky, but this car has always been connected with music, and each of my kids thought it was very cool, so I think the design team knew what they were doing here. Another new big optional feature inside is a heads-up display which projects onto a pop-up screen and offers a host of information. Overall, the ergonomics of the new interior flow quite well and nothing seems out of place. The boxy design offers the benefit of providing surprisingly more interior volume than one would expect in a compact CUV with 120.9 cubic feet. Front seats are ample, well supported, and provide over 41 inches of legroom. In the second row, passengers have 38.8 inches of legroom, 54.7 inches of shoulder room, and 39.5 inches of headroom, which means adults shouldn't feel cramped at all. Cargo space can be a bit of good and bad in the 2020 Soul. With second row seats up, there are 24.2 cubic feet available, but it's mostly up and not out. You can maximize use of the space with a divider board that allows you to create 2 vertical rows of storage. I managed to get a variety of grocery and luggage items in there during my week of testing. When the 60-40 split rear seats are down, there is an impressive 62.1 cubic feet of space available, which actually allowed me to transport a couple of Muskoka chairs while inside. Under the hood of the 2020 Soul across all trim levels is a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that puts out 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to a next-generation CVT, which Kia calls its intelligent variable transmission, and can also offer 8 simulated gear positions if you want to use the available sport mode and manual shifting. In the US, you'll be able to find a 1.6-liter turbocharged variant that offers 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque, but Canadian Turbo Soul fans won't be able to find that turbo in their lineup just yet. There is also a second-generation 2020 Kia Soul Electric available, but that's something I'll drive later on this year and do a full review at that time. Fuel economy for the 2-liter Soul powertrain is 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers or 30 US mpg combined, but during my week of driving in admittedly ideal weather conditions, I've been able to beat that figure by about 10 to 15% on average. Overall, the drive in the Soul is generally refined, but certainly not exhilarating. I found its responsiveness to be true and predictable with little to no lag. The boxy shape didn't offer as much body roll as one might expect, and overall this vehicle is well set up to meet the needs of its target market. So as I said off the top, the real challenge for Kia in redesigning this third-generation Soul was to make sure that whatever changes they made did not alienate their base, but at the same time reached out to potential new buyers. And to that effect, I think that they've done a pretty good job. I actually have never been a huge fan of the boxy design myself per se, but again, there is a pretty large constituency of those that do. So really the changes we've seen on the inside especially, even though some of the things might be a little bit gimmicky for some demographics like the light show with the stereo system, for the target market, and I think Kia has identified who they're really going after, this really does work. It's also priced quite well. There's a variety of different trim levels to meet your budgetary needs, and I think there's really no risk of seeing the sales of the Kia Soul slump at all. In fact, there's obviously some room for upward trending, and I think that's where it's going to go. I like this vehicle overall, and if you're in that compact crossover market, you've not given the Soul some thought before, you know what, maybe it's time you did so. That's it for this review. I'm Eric Novak. Thanks for watching. There's plenty of ways for you to keep connected with me, so check out some of my social media links, suggested videos, and I'd really love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel.